Hey, welcome to basically the last episode in this travel series that I've done for YouTube and on Periscope. Of course, we're just talking about the YouTube videos for the most part here. And I wanted to share with you, because it's been 7 months since I traveled, but I wanted to share with you some of the things that I've been thinking about because of the trip that I went on. And if you enjoy listening to my mistakes, then maybe you're more aware of not making them. I want to share with you some of the successes that I had on the journey. I want to share some little tidbits about storytelling, what I think is something that I've learned from trying to craft, kind of make. You talk about crafting. I'm not a bespoke artisanal designer. You know what I mean? Just what makes it interesting as a YouTube video. And then I just want to talk about what's next for traveling and for the YouTube channel. One was carrying around Hong Kong currency. I haven't really traveled that much recently at all, and if I have, Raya's normally taking up most of the travel arrangements. Excuses? No. Yeah, okay, they're excuses. I just left it all to Raya, and you can see that when I'm traveling and I'm carrying around 5,000 Hong Kong dollars worth of cash, and then I found it really hard to change it in a Russian airport. It's because it's not an important currency, and I kind of forgot the importance of currencies, and I could have saved myself a lot of trouble at that particular moment in the airport just by using my British bank card, but I insisted on the cash that I had and insisted on converting it, and I didn't even get a good rate for it because it's not a very valuable currency. So that's one mistake. The second mistake was actually missing the first train in Russia, but that's tiny. That's tiny. The rest of them are issues that I had while traveling, and they were kind of issues that were brought up as I was traveling. Like, I made mention of them in Periscopes and probably in a couple of episodes that you've already watched. But the biggest one was the fact that I just went to too many cities in the time that I had, and if I was to do it all over again, which I'd be happy to do, I would probably visit fewer cities or the same number of cities, but give myself at least an extra week in Russia. By the time I got to Mongolia and China, and I was there for like 48 hours, it was a lot easier for me to get around and get acquainted with the city, rather than go on a train, arrive, walk on foot, and there's a reason why, walk on foot to the Airbnb, and then find all the necessary shops, get settled, and then you're looking at the watch. You don't have a watch, but you know what I mean. You're looking at the watch and you're thinking, okay, how much time do I have left? What can I do in that time? That's my problem, because I'm thinking, yeah, a day there is fine. It wasn't fine. Yeah, I am in the shade here. The whole walking on foot thing, that's because I just have a rule where I just don't trust taxi drivers. And I did break that rule. I did try to break that rule while I was in China, and they were trying to stiff me. But when I was planning, what I tried to do was find the train station and then find a really good Airbnb near that train station, which is fine in practice, but because I've lived in the UK and I live here, the UK and Hong Kong are very densely populated, so I'm accustomed to walking around everywhere. Then it turns out that I've got to walk 20 minutes to 30 minutes to my Airbnb. Again, I'm cutting out my enjoyment time when I'm traveling. So that's kind of a little logistical mistake, and well, we can all learn from that or pay heed to that issue, right? Of course, you might just get a taxi. Just get a taxi next time. Yeah, fair enough. Could get a taxi. Could get murdered. There is a reason why I wasted my money on travel insurance. You're not wasting your money on travel insurance. You're just in case. It's an insurance policy. I know it's an insurance policy. The thing with travel insurance for me is that I pay for it, I don't use it, and then I'm like, in hindsight, well, that was a waste of money, wasn't it? Because I didn't get to use it. That's just me. But I understand how it works, so don't DM me or anything like that. One other small issue, just a small one, is not having someone with me, either to also read the map, suggest things, someone to have a conversation with, especially on the train, and also to protect my gear if I wanted to make some more interesting shots for the YouTube, and I had to leave the camera for a second. I kind of hesitated doing that in Russia, and in the places I didn't feel comfortable. But if there was a second person there, then maybe I would have got some more interesting shots. But the fact that I'm telling you this means that I'm actually aware of what I did and didn't do enough of, and if I go traveling again, then I can make those necessary changes. You don't want to listen to me for 15 minutes just talk about the mistakes I made. Let's talk about some success. I'd like to think making the trip itself was the largest success. The fact that I got to A to B, Hong Kong to Hong Kong, in relatively one piece. That I'm really happy about, really proud of having gone around the world in that fashion. The second success is actually meeting all those people that we met, either on Periscope or on YouTube. And we met all sorts of different types of people. My family, and they were great on camera. My friends, they were also great on camera. Then there were the Periscope personalities that we all kind of knew if you follow, like Davey Gravy, for example, and Dana Carroll in Germany. That was nice. We all got on great. We did some great scopes together. And then there was the complete strangers, and the strangers brought what they wanted to share, and they were in the mood to share something. So that was very fortunate to bump into different people, and they certainly did share different things with us so that we could learn about their countries and their culture. That is actually for me one of the highlights of traveling. The fact that I didn't know what to expect in this journey certainly lowered my expectations, and so when it does come to meeting people, they are the proudest moments of the journey that I made. I'm also grateful for all of those who donated, contributed to my ability to travel in the manner that I did. Altogether, I traveled 20,000 kilometers for 35 days. If you're new, then I guess this is new for you. And I managed to make 30 episodes on YouTube for this, and I think at the moment there's over 150 on Periscope that are converting to YouTube, so then it's all saved on there, and then I can get rid of them off Periscope. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Let's talk about storytelling. When it comes to telling a story, I found that I wasn't entirely comfortable with depicting it on two different platforms, and I feel I should be more cognizant of that the next time I travel, so that there is a specific YouTube element to it, and then there's a specific Periscope element to it, and ultimately they're either different, or YouTube takes prominence over Periscope, because Periscope certainly filled in some gaps when I wasn't able to make a YouTube, either for time. The spontaneity of the live stream is so powerful. So towards the end, as I was getting tired, it was much easier just to make a live stream. And I also feel like it's a failure on my part if my YouTube videos are taking components from whatever I broadcasted on Periscope. So the next time I want to define both platforms, or just stick to one platform and leave it at that, and say, right, I'm just doing it on this, and this is what you're going to get. And if it's YouTube, then you're going to have to wait. If it's Periscope, then we can enjoy it as it's happening live, but there's no the replayability of it. The ability to like return to it is much weaker than it is on YouTube, because YouTube's algorithm is so much better, and discoverability is infinitesimally superior to Periscope's inability to get people to watch replays, which I know isn't the point of that platform, but you see the differences right there. No one's watching my Periscope replays on Periscope, but they are on YouTube. I do wonder how much stronger my YouTube videos would be if I had concentrated just on YouTube. But at the same time though, because of the power of the live stream, the spontaneity, the number of hits you can get in a number of broadcast minutes might translate to subscribers moving from one platform to the other, which is a knock against YouTube really versus Periscope, because I've done live streams on YouTube, and so far I haven't really noticed new people live. It's regular subscribers who I'm seeing live. I don't know how it works on YouTube yet. When I travel again, I'm going to pay some more consideration to these two platforms. And speaking of traveling, I do want to share something else with you, and that's that when I travel, I need a hook. And it can be a tiny hook, a very personal thing for me to get me interested. I'm not someone who enjoys the tourist places, so again, that's why meeting so many people is the highlight of my YouTube series. I don't like feels fake when you're a tourist. You're going to specific places, and I can see it especially in Hong Kong. Like, you have to go to the Peak, you have to go on the ferry, and those places are not they're tourist traps. That's simply what they are, and they're designed to just take money off you. And okay, so you see a view, you ride a ferry. I mean, I'm just reducing it down to very bare essentials here, but that's what you're there for. But did you meet anybody? I mean, if you don't value meeting people, then I guess I'm just wasting your time watching this. But it's because I'm a people person. I like to think I am. So I want to see what they have to say about the world. I want their perspective. And I don't feel like Hong Kong does a lot of that actually at the moment, because it's all geared, because there's no money in it. It's all geared around selling tat. And so as a YouTuber in Hong Kong, that's what I want to do. I want to make videos about Hong Kong. I want to travel around Hong Kong actually and show you all the little things. So if you're new to the channel, this is ultimately what I want to do. Those guys have just had an amazing Cantonese Thai food in this restaurant, which is at the end of my street. So if you're interested, this place is listed on OpenRice. Not being a typical tourist, this is why I didn't really enjoy Berlin and the Berlin leg of the journey. Just where I got to was just typical tourist stuff, busy city, and there wasn't really an experience there that I could gain that was valuable, other than the one that I'm being critical of it, and I should have known better to avoid such touristy places. Where was I? I want to drill down and get into all the little nitty-gritty details of this city. That's my hook. As a travel scoper, or travel blogger, I've got Periscope on the mind, in Hong Kong. I'm not going to be able to do that as a travel blogger outside of Hong Kong, because I can't get to that level of detail or level of nuance. I need someone on that. Well, if I go back to Beijing, I need someone to just bring me in and suck me into their world, and you can short circuit that. Hence Paul. Look at Paul in the episode for Beijing. He was amazing, and he took me around specific places. He actually got me a rental bike. I couldn't have done that on my own, because you actually need like an official Chinese, or you need a real phone number, not a tourist phone number. So tourists are cut out. So it's nice having a local friend who's there, who can literally help you. My point is, if I travel again, expect something a bit more streamlined when it comes to storytelling, but also something where I'm going to consider it more, research it more, and maybe focus on those little details. I mean, I can't do it on a train, but hey, well, actually I did do it on the train. I mean, I pointed the camera at the toilet and we got deep down that hole. You see what I'm saying? So if I went to Tokyo, I would try to meet people, I would try to interview people and get them to share their experiences with us. It wouldn't just be going to their version of McDonald's, or their version of an In-N-Out burger, or their version of something that's already Western. I want to be indulged in them, and I want to learn something from them. I'm tired of people coming to Hong Kong and, hey, what food did you eat in Hong Kong? Oh, we went to McDonald's. It's like, what the fuck? You didn't learn anything. You're not sampling anything. You're just eating the same shit. I want you to step out of your comfort zone, and I want to step out of my comfort zone, so that there's something there, something more meaningful. I'm not to razz on travel bloggers on YouTube, but there's a lot of them. But they just show you the best sites. Oh, it's about the gear. The fucking gear, all these gear reviews. Again, I'm not shitting on them, but it's a bit redundant. I get it, you know, people want to travel in a certain way. What's the best backpacks, or logistically, you know, help us out with a review. I get it, but I think some just overindulge on that. I'm not that kind of scoper or blogger. So I'm atypical, I think, as a tourist. I'd like to think that. I'd like to believe my ego. I'd like my ego to tell me that I'm atypical. But the next place I want to travel to is China again. I want to go back to Beijing, check out Shenzhen, which is actually across the border. And the reason for that is I want to travel in an environmentally friendly way. I want to show, you know, alternative ways to travel. I don't want to rely on jet travel. It's very harmful to the planet, and I don't see travel bloggers paying that much consideration to that. Maybe there are some. YouTube is massive. You know, some people don't even know who PewDiePie is. Who's PewDiePie? Maybe there is one environmentally conscious travel blogger, but I would love for more travel blogging to recognize that the environment is suffering because of jet travel, and travel bloggers to do something more local. That's what I intend to do. So if I travel again, I'd like to travel across China by train. Ray doesn't like that idea. And if I could really travel somewhere at the moment, because there's a hook involved, it's Japan. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, how do I get to Japan without flying there? I'd need to catch a train, obviously, to China. Maybe there's a ferry from North Korea. Excuse me, South Korea. Maybe there is. Maybe that's more interesting. I'm just aware of my CO2 contributions to the world, and it's a sad irony of travel vloggers and periscopers that you try to promote your own place, but at the same time, if they come here, then you're also contributing to the detriment of the environment. Awkward. Anyway, that's my idea for this channel going forward. There's some technical things that I want to improve on. I'm shooting this in 4K today because I just want to see what it's all about. It's a simple setup. I want to see how my computer setup up top handles it all. I want to get into color grading and just learn Final Cut Pro a little bit better, just to tweak some of the edges to these videos. And I want to focus on this city, on this part of the world. And even though I've just said about environmentally friendly and whatnot, I want you to come here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.